Alright, we back with another one. Take two, different location. You know, we was in the sun for a little minute, technical difficulties. But JK the interviewer, and we're back with another one. This is a little different because it's not only an interview, but I'm meeting family for the first time, physically anyway. This is my brother. He's a rapper or artist. Let's make it complex, not just some rapper and everything. But
Recording artist.
yeah. Let us know who we talking to right now.
J Terms. I'm originally from South Carolina. Like you said, this is our first time meeting.
Mm.
So we thought this would be like a cool way to
Document it and whatnot.
document it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So here we go.
Hmm. So before we got interrupted, you was mentioning like your old music versus your new music, and basically like you don't feel the same way. Like you evolved from those feelings. Let us know a little more about that. Like give us a little breakdown of what you mean by that. Like, 'cause you said you was on deployment, so
When you go to Golden Leaves,
Mhm.
Golden Leaves, I wrote that over deployment.
Mm.
And like while I was over deployment, I was like teaching myself to make beats. So that's after that metal chasing. I was supposed to put out metal chasing a few months after I did Golden Leaves, but that's when I first got in trouble with the probation shit.
Mm.
So that like set me back. And Basilica came over the course of me going through like a spiritual journey type shit. That's why it's called Basilica.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Because the whole like religious thing, but it's like I look at the Sistine Chapel as like the pinnacle of where like art and like the religion shit meet. So that's why it was called Basilica. But that's all about like a spiritual journey that I went through, to where like I was finding out like all this other shit like the conspiracy theory shit, but it was shit that just kept like popping up. I wasn't even like so much like looking for it. I just like
Just found it.
yeah, like you would just like meet random people and shit like that, to where like it's like yo, that's a motherfucker that I was supposed to meet for the journey that I'm going on type shit. Like you was just like I don't know, it'd be something like it's different when you have like a conversation with a motherfucker and it's like damn, that shit really like you feel something from that shit, like you was supposed to meet this motherfucker and like have that conversation type shit.
Mm. Like a deeper understanding of something.
Yeah, kind of like a omen.
Mm.
So like I read this book called The Alchemist, and in the book like this dude would like meet omens and shit. You know what I'm saying? To like I guess fulfill the quest or whatever. But like that's how that shit be feeling sometimes, cause I just like meet this motherfucker and they'll teach me some shit and it'll stick with me, and then I come up like implementing that shit when it's needed,
Mm.
and the shit be like helpful. So it's like I was supposed to meet that motherfucker in that time, in that space.
Mm.
Cause like the alchemist shit, like I finished reading the book like on the way to Egypt, and that's where the book, like inside the book, that's where it leads you to, like over in Egypt, towards like a oasis. Yeah, that's funny, cause I might have a tape called Oasis too. But like uh that shit, I don't know. It's like that was me documenting my different moments and shit like with those tapes. But Maverick is like what I'm on, like
Right now.
yeah, that's the type of shit that like I'm excited to make that type of music, because I'm like I done learned so much shit. So it's like just to like release all that shit.
Okay, finally put it in the atmosphere of like, this is what I've been experiencing in life, because music is therapeutic to some people. You know, Some people use it as the quick come up and whatnot.
And with me,
But
it's big on like legacy type shit.
mm,
Like I feel like I've been through enough in life type shit to where like this shit stand for something. Like it's something that I'm supposed to like achieve out of all of this shit. You know what I'm saying?
in life or just when it comes to your music
Well,
in
just
general?
like just life. Like music is I don't really like seek for the accolades and shit like that in music. It'd be cool, but like doing the music itself, like that'd be the fun part for me. Like I don't really be I ain't into the whole like chasing the fame type shit. I just want like self fulfillment. Like I don't look for nothing external to like make me happy type shit.
Mm.
So with me, like
So why'd you like if you're not trying to be, you know, I'm not gonna say you ain't trying to be the best and
now you
music,
aspire for
yeah.
I aspire to put out the best like music.
But
I'm competitive, but I'm saying like
you ain't trying to get like a Grammy or
all of that'd be
know,
cool, but that ain't my mentality when I'm coming into the shit. It ain't like because I really like the art aspect of it. Like I get the whole business shit. Like I'm gonna be on my business too. Don't get me wrong. Like it at the end of the day, it is a business. It is an industry. But I don't think you can like have fun if you don't like acknowledge that part, like just the art part. Because we all can just go to work, but the cool thing is that you can do something that you love too, regardless if they're gonna pay you or not. Like I'm not making much of music right now. I'm still doing this shit. I still love this shit, and that's the part that we gotta focus on. Because if you don't, then all that shit don't really mean nothing. Money ain't gonna make you happy. Don't get me wrong. Like money don't make you happy. It's the shit that comes with the money. You know
with the money could bring.
Yeah. Because the money provide a different lifestyle. You might say, fuck it, I want to go to the movies on Wednesday instead of waiting to fucking I get paid on Friday because I got the money right now. It's just simple shit like that, but you still got to focus on like the basics. You know what I'm saying? Like all the extra shit, like it's cool, you know what I'm saying? I want my bread out the shit too, don't get me wrong.
Like you want to at least like see something out of it, like okay, I done put in 10, 15, 20,000 into my career so far. I might as well want to see me get at least 25 out of it. You know?
And I'm gonna do that, but it's like I won't make that like the fucking like the apex of the shit. Like it's cool to achieve it, but to aspire it and to like only focus on that, no. But I'm gonna be doing that too because like that's what Maverick is about. Because I done learned a whole bunch of shit, so I'm applying that now. So I understand that shit, and I'm gonna be doing the necessary steps to progress. What I'm talking about is like I'm doing that because that's necessary. Like I'm doing the music shit because I want to. Business is business. I can be doing a whole nother industry, but I do this shit because I really like it and I really like to make money too. It just happened to coincide. But like if I could get the same enjoyment off of fucking sweeping parking lots and shit like that, I sweep parking lots all fucking day. But it's the music that's the fun shit. So with me, I always gotta have fun.
Like, what type of genre you say you fall into when it comes to the music?
I'm definitely hip hop. That was just like that was me making my own production. So it's to a point where I feel like, and every producer probably can like relate to this shit. Like once you make your own beats, you really don't fit into a genre. Like the world says that shit. Like you just be going off the moment. You might use some. I'm a fucking you. It's like a blank canvas every time you make beats. That's why I started liking this shit. And I said I would never produce. But it's like a blank canvas. And whatever you feeling in that moment, you can like bring that shit to like fruition. Like you can like it's weird. Like whenever you get to a moment to where you hear this shit in your head and you actually play it, this shit is mind-boggling. Like for real. I did that on the it's called Woodworks on Metal Chasing, and a nigga he dared me to like sample. Cause I never sample. I just be trying to like learn the actual keys and shit, and then I incorporate the sampling. But he dared me to sample, and I was like, man, fuck it, I'm gonna go home and do it. And if, like the exact chord that I was thinking of like all day, as soon as he told me that shit, I thought of I want to make a beat that sound like this. Like I went home and did that shit that day, and it's the Woodworks beat.
What song did you sample?
It was just a sound. It was like a sound font that was in Fruity Loops, and I just chopped the shit up. I like slowed it down, changed the pitch of it. I ain't did too much like decorating the motherfucker, but the shit was hard. How it came about. But that's that part of learning too, cause like I didn't like mix that shit as properly as I could have. It would have hit way harder. So that's some shit that I learned like after I put that shit out. So like so now I'm to the point where I know all this shit. That's where Maverick comes into play, cause my homie is actually producing like that whole thing, but it's me learning like shit like that. Like the beat's supposed to sound like this. So when I'm choosing beats, I'd be like, hey, bro, like add this, do this, that, cause you just know like what it's supposed to be now. Even though like you understand like that is all about the art. So that's what it should be like. I understand it's a business too. So you'd be like, hey, take this kick off, put this kick on, because when you play it in the car, it's gonna hit way harder. That's what the motherfucker want to feel. So like, that's the business mind when it kicks in. Even though it's still like you appreciating the art, but that's when you have to be business minded and be like, hey, this needs to sound like this
in the car.
Yeah.
So like when you create music, like what are you creating it for? Like what atmosphere? You created like, okay, I want it to sound like this in the club where they have the surround sounds, they got the speakers, they got the bass. Yeah. Or you like, okay, I want it to sound like this when you play your AirPods or your headphones or whatever, the car. Because, you know, some people that say, okay, I wanted to get it fine-tuned so it could sound a certain way in the whip to like, okay, boom. You don't need the extra.
That's more the producer part right there. So
that's not your part.
So I produce, but I don't know, it's weird. I don't consider myself really like a producer because I'm still learning so much. But like that's more of like when you like a certified producer, you say that shit. Like that's where your job comes in. Like the artist can come in and like make like certain tweaks and shit like that, but like ultimately I would think that would be like the job of the producer or the engineer to like take this and be like, nah, it needs to sound like this. It sounds like this now because a motherfucker just had the idea of how it needs to sound, but this is what it really needs to sound for the masses and shit. Like for you to actually like enjoy this shit to the fullest extent.
All right. What producers you feel like they got the sound that fits you, like established producers anyway?
Well, let me see, established producers. I work with I think I work with like a couple. One, my homie Music Vision, Transformer in Tennessee now. Like we gonna do a whole project. That shit could be crazy. Like I already got like a EP worth of beats from him, but he crazy. My producers though, like my two producers, my homie Juice and my other homie De Niro Beats. I'm gonna do projects with them too. Juice is producing the whole tape of Maverick. So Maverick, I got like 25 songs on that shit. So I gotta get that. I gotta get the cover shot for that shit. Probably like next month, some shit like that. I'm shoot it in Dallas, cause Maverick or whatnot. But he's producing that whole thing. And De Niro, I'm gonna do a tape with him. He, swear to God, he just sent me like fucking 5 beats right there. So we gonna do a tape together, and that one's gonna be called Vintage Tapestry. Like his beat style is what sways me to be like, this needs to be on this, this needs to be on this.
Alright, so what I'm picking up on you uh, like with certain titles of your projects, they have a deeper meaning. You did it on purpose, because with the whole journey and everything, or that's just how you been.
So,
when it comes to like naming your projects and whatnot.
like in everything I do, like I think it got some meaning to it. That's what makes it'll resonate better once you learn like how I think and shit like that. That's what Maverick is about, because you gonna understand my mentality. Like a Maverick is a person that he has his own like belief system, and he thinks the way he do. He don't really try to conform. Like I just think how I think, and that's how that shit work out for me. However it work out for me, I'm gonna think the way I think. But
So like basically independent thinking.
Yeah.
So you feel like that's big? Where like when it comes to your music, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, is your music constructed based off of where you from? Because you from originally South Carolina, but you live in Tennessee now.
Here.
So like, but let's say you got them folks from New York. They the New York sound is currently the whole drill shit, and
De Niro is from New York.
Oh, for real?
He's from Brooklyn.
Okay.
He's just moved here. So that's a whole Brooklyn sound.
Oh, so you got like the drill beats type shit, or?
I got one he sent me. I'm gonna let you hear it.
Okay.
This shit's so fucking fire. I told him that last night. Shit's crazy. He put he flipped a sample, and he did the drill beat pattern. That shit's stupid. Like the 808 he chose for that shit is crazy.
So you feel like your music is constructed based off like the South? Like you feel like you got the South sound, or your sound is based off of like their producers? Because you say you like Currency and Larry June, and they not really down south, like well they can spit, but they not southern like
but
music and whatnot.
Those like the main two I listen to like right now. Like I got on Larry June like a couple years ago. I've been on Currency since I got on him heavy when I was in 2016, right before deployment. Cause it's funny, my homie he the one made me look him up again, because I forgot he stopped rapping. I thought he started rapping, and the last song I heard from Buddy was like Where the Cash At. And somebody told me in high school, he was like, "Nah, you don't listen to Spitter." And I never thought to look at it, because at the time I was only listening to like Young Money, like everything.
Lil Wayne and them?
Yeah, everything else I was like, man, listen up, man. I'm a diehard Wayne fan. You know what I'm saying? But I got on I was rapping. I was doing I was in the studio, and I was doing it was over J Electronica Exhibit C beat, and I was rapping on the shit, and I came out the studio. My homie, he started like tweaking it, and he was like, you remind me of the way you rap. He was like he's like, that nigga from New Orleans, and I was like Wayne. I was like he was like, no, not Wayne. I was like, it's like Kevin Gates. Like, it's the only people I can think of. And he was like, nah, the nigga with a bunch of cars and shit. So he finally thought of him, and I was like, it's like, I heard him rap before. I don't think I rap like him, cause I was just getting on his music again. Well, I never got on his music yet, but I knew like a couple songs from him, so I ain't thought I rap like him. But like when he said that shit, I got home, and I was like, I'm gonna look that music up. I said the music up. I'm gonna look the nigga music up. So I went on Spinrilla, and that nigga had like a whole catalog. That nigga had like fucking like 20-some tapes. I was like, damn, that's a lot to catch up on, cause I do my due diligence to look up like another nigga like what do you call it, discography or whatever. Like I go through your catalog and see what you're talking about and shit like that. And the night that I looked it up, like the nigga put out a song, and I heard what the fuck song was it? I think it was like it was like 2016. I think it was like Supply and Demand. Like the same night, like he put the shit out. That's like right then. Yeah, that shit was crazy. So I started looking up the nigga music, and I fell in love with that nigga music, like because it's type of shit I be on. Like I be thinking I be like introverted, like I just like I be introverted a lot. I don't like to like mingle with people. I just be on what the fuck I be on, and if you're not, like, there's no hard feelings.
It ain't fuck you. It's just like I don't
Yeah,
fuck
it's
with
just like I'm gonna do this and you gonna do that. We still can coexist, but from a distance type shit. But it's like that's what that nigga music was about. And then he started. I love niggas who like spit like game and shit like that, like help a nigga like learn some shit. Like so, that's why like Nas was so like important in hip hop and like the KRS Ones and shit.
You feel okay? You paid attention. You brought up Nas. Did you pay attention to the whole 21 Savage statement? How he said Nas is irrelevant.
Nah, I don't get into like much media and shit like that.
But do you feel like he's irrelevant though, based off of like right now, like ain't nobody really checking for a Nas project. Like if you a fan, you a fan.
Yeah, his audience is checking for him. You usually gotta say you not checking for him, cause it's Nas fans that ain't gonna be checking for him. That's just how this shit work. That's the whole point of like you having your demographic. I'm having my demographic. Like Nas is definitely important. Like that's I don't know. That's weird for niggas to say that, cause it's niggas like that who like kept this shit going. Like it's important that Nas is still dropping. Like that's what you should aspire to be.
Like Nas. Being like almost 2 decades in the game, to where like
not even that, just the like the elevated like thinking, like Nas always been ahead of his time. So like for him to still be doing this shit, you just gotta salute it and just even if you don't even bump it or fuck with it, just respect it. Be like,
there's something for everybody.
Yeah, I feel like you supposed to like we don't show too much respect for how like our predecessors and shit like that.
Like hip hop?
Yeah. Like in any other genre, like they still got fucking museums of Elvis.
But that's Elvis.
Yeah, but they
and plus you in Tennessee. We ain't really checking for Elvis in Orlando, Florida, man.
But that's still a culture. That ain't necessarily our culture.
Yeah, but
it's a culture though, and they like fucking they hold their people to high regards. So like, if you don't see a nigga with like a Rolex on these days, like if you see a nigga with 2 outfits on at the same time or some shit, you just automatically think a nigga fucking broke or something. Because we
mismatching?
Nah, just like broke. Like seen a nigga wear the same outfit more than once. Like the shit just weird because we done got to a point where we've been flashy the whole time in hip hop, to where a nigga don't even know how to outdo the shit that's already been done. Like the shit be stupid. Like nigga, you got to have a whole 300 yachts around your neck, nigga. Like, what the fuck are you talking about, nigga? $100 million chain, nigga. Like, it's getting to that point. Because niggas already talking about, yeah, man, I got a fucking $3 million chain. Nobody doing it like me. That shit just like, in the grand scheme, that shit don't mean like nothing.
You wearing your wealth, basically saying that's how in hip hop. If you ain't, you don't got to bust down, cube and everything, then like, hey, bro, this nigga, man.
Teach his own, but that shit be. Like,
you would have bought a chain? You would have snapped on a chain or nothing?
Would I have bought a chain?
Like, okay, let's say you just got signed, right, for $250,000.
Will I buy a chain?
Would you like you got the money? You just got signed for $250,000.
Nah,
would you spend like 50 on a nice little?
Bro, I'm not spending. I'm not spending 10,000. I get me like a little something like. I don't like too much jewels and shit on me anyway, but like I wear like a little charm chain, like something.
A little choker. Choker piece.
Not even a choker. Like a simple little beaded necklace or something that compliments, but nothing like too crazy. Like,
nothing extravagant.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you never gonna see me with no like fucking big ass chains. It just ain't me. That shit look uncomfortable for the niggas who wearing that shit. I seen an interview with fucking Black Youngster. That nigga got crazy shit. Like I done seen this nigga flexing all type of shit on Instagram. And that nigga had an interview where he was like, yo, I don't even like to like wear this shit outside of like interviews and videos and shit. That shit look uncomfortable.
I just don't like the sound. When you hear all them shit, it clink, 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 I'm like, God, is that real? Like, is it? Damn.
Teach his own. I just couldn't do it. That shit just looked mad uncomfortable.
I probably snap on like, you know, about like 2 little. I wouldn't wear nothing big, but I wouldn't like.
Cause the thing is, like, you can look nice, and you know you could treat yourself nice without breaking the bank. Like, you don't need to wear $100,000 chain. I'm like, bro, man, your car not even $100,000, man. Like, what the fuck you doing?
Man, I'd rather have all that shit and nobody know who the fuck I am. Like the music shit, that's the weird part because like I don't care about the fame and shit like.
But the bigger you get, the more notoriety you get, the more people are gonna know you.
That's the double-edged sword to the shit. So I understand all that.
You can't be a Rod Wave.
Huh?
You can't be a Rod Wave. Like, you see how he's like, he on this, he's an introvert.
Like, he don't really he don't do interviews, he don't really be popping out. But I'm like, bro, like, you got sold out shows everywhere you go. You can't be like, oh, I'm an introvert, and, you know, and then I'm outside, everybody know who I am, and like, shit, that's kind of like, are you really, is that your persona? Like, I'm gonna act like I don't like people around me. But really, like, you know, when I you know.
Hey, that's tight. I ain't even knew that shit.
Yeah.
That nigga don't do interviews. Hey, y'all pull up. I want to be over here. Hey, that's tight. Hey, commend that to that nigga. But yeah, I ain't trying to be like hella famous and shit. I understand this shit come with it, and I deal with it accordingly. But I don't really be looking for fame.
So do you feel like you got a little name? Not even a little name. In Tennessee, where you at, or you feel like
I'm known like. If you do music, like you're
somebody,
you're like 1 degree away of me of every fucking way you turn. You know,
so
like
how you manage to maneuver over there, like for you not wanting to be known and whatnot?
It's not that like I'm gonna network. Don't get me wrong. I ain't scared to talk. I like my silence too. Like I like chilling and like just doing nothing. But like I'm gonna work my move. Like I'm gonna go out there. I'm gonna work my move. I ain't. Yeah, that's the best way to say it. I'm gonna work my move. Like, my bad. Yeah.
So is that strictly for
like how we were talking about the other day?
I have a very chilled nature. Like that's just me. Like just chilling type shit. Like, but I ain't gonna like. I'm gonna get up. Like you gonna know who I am type shit. Like,
but outside of the music, like. Are you the type to go to a club that like you not performing that just to like socialize?
No, hell no, I don't do that. Nah, I'd rather be kicking it at the crib. Cause what's in the club? Like
a scene?
Nah.
Like you might want to be there just to like, all right, we gonna vibe today with the.
I don't need the attention. I'd rather fucking. I'd rather go fucking take a trip somewhere and like let me see some shit I haven't seen before. Like. That'd be my shit. Like I like traveling. Like I don't like I always got to be doing like some shit that's living basically. Like that's why I like going on trips and shit like that. I can't just be like around like going to the club like that shit. We used to have like little kiddie clubs and shit like that we'll go to, and around like I done been to like every fucking club in Nashville, like going downtown and shit like that. So I don't know, that shit just it ain't appealing to me. Like I like going to museums and shit. Like I fucking ride, get fresh to death, fucking like smoke, eat, and go to the museum. Like see some shit.
That's your vibe.
Yeah, that's the type of shit that. I even like give you that when I name my like titles and shit like Golden Leaves, like that's like a material that they use to like they use it to paint with, but it makes it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of like glitter and shit just to make the painting more like popping and shit. Okay. So metal chasing, that's like a craftsmanship where like you knock onto like you knocking on metal, and then you flip it over and there's a picture there. It's like a craftsmanship thing. So that symbolizes like I felt like I was fucking like knocking my head up against the wall. Like I was just like metal chasing was like a crazy time because that was over the period of like both probations, and I'm having to work like fucking like.
Oh, you was on 2 probations at one time?
No, I was on probation, got off, and then some stupid shit again.
You got back on probation. You had the ankle monitor, or you just on papers? You couldn't smoke
just on papers. I couldn't smoke. That's what really was like getting me. Then I had to smoke. Fuck, like, that shit hard as fuck. Like I tell you, I ain't good. I ain't good sober like for too long. I'm being real. Like even if I got like simple or something, like I can't be. I gotta be like
inebriated.
Yeah.
I feel you, bro. Yeah, we all got
nothing too crazy. Yeah. I just like a little
smoke here, a little drink there.
Yeah.
A little something.
Just stay breezy.
Oh, okay. All right. I can't hate on that. But let us know what else you got going on for yourself before we wrap it up, man.
Let me see.
And drop your socials on the thing.
Oh yeah. My main thing right now is just Maverick. When I get
and that's coming out when? Or in how long of a period?
I'm looking for pretty much the top quarter of 2013.
Okay.
So at the least, I want to say like March, cause I got one that's it's in the works of being mixed and shit right now, and I'm gonna put that out, and then I'm rushing right into like Maverick, cause that's what I need to be on right now. Like, yeah.
All right. Let us know where we can find you at, man.
I'm on IG at J_TERMZ. Twitter at JTerms1, but I don't really be on Twitter. And I'm hearing bad things about that shit now. It's saying
shout out to Elon, man. He gonna come through.
Niggas gotta fucking verify subscriptions and shit like that. So, but I'm mainly on like IG and shit like that. Facebook too. Same thing. J Terms on Facebook, but mainly I'm gonna be on IG because everything else just seems weird to me.
All right, man. That's JK the interview, man. We out.